Okay, good morning and welcome to today's session of Imagine America Radio, our continuing Career College Exposition webinar series. My name is Lee Doubleday and I'm the Director of Operations here at the Imagine America Foundation. I'm excited about today's career topic, College for Information Technology Careers with Rasmussen University. Rasmussen University is an institution of higher learning dedicated to global enrichment and meeting the evolving needs of the diverse communities that they service. With an emphasis on innovative programs, dynamic curriculum, and general education skills, they are committed to being a leader in the field of career-focused education. Rasmussen University is also a brand new partner of the Imagine America Foundation. So your students can now apply for a scholarship through the Imagine America Foundation to attend Rasmussen University on our website. If you'd like more information about our scholarship programs and how your students can apply, please either contact myself after the presentation is over or visit our website, which is www.imagine-america.org. Since our beginning in 1999, Imagine America remains a leading sponsor of scholarship aid to enrolling high school students. However, our country faces a serious shortage in certified technicians. We hear from employers in virtually all sections of the country desperately looking for qualified employees, so we need to do more. Our partner in today's presentation, as I mentioned earlier, is Rasmussen University. And joining us today to discuss in detail the looming technician shortage and how Rasmussen University is helping meet this need is Gina Taylor. Gina has been working in admissions now for over 10 years, so you're in great hands today. But before turning the program over to Gina, let me outline today's agenda. Today's session of Imagine America Radio will be 30 minutes maximum with question and answers at the end of the presentation. Once we finish these remarks, we'll move directly into today's presentation. All participants can submit questions while the presentation is in session via the Q&A feature in this Zoom meeting or the chat box. Either works. You can use either the chat box or the Q&A session in the Zoom meeting here. At the end of the presentation, or approximately 10:25, I will then present any questions offered by the participants and we'll address as many questions as possible. We'll have a hard close at 10:30 to be respectful of your time. So without taking any more time out of today's presentation, let me turn today's session over to Gina. Gina, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Lee. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're all doing wonderful. I would love to share a little bit about myself. I have been with Rasmussen University for 11 years, currently the Director of Admissions at our Mokena Tinley Park campus, and servicing our Chicagoland area students. Really what I love about being at Rasmussen and doing admissions is utilizing the platform of education. As you all are in education, including myself, it is so powerful to be able to help students believe in themselves, help them get to the next part of their future, and being part of that decision and getting them on track towards their success. So I'll tell you, my favorite part is seeing students from where they start and having that jittery, nervous feeling of, I don't know if I can do college, to getting across the stage and graduating and getting out into their field. So my favorite part every day is just really the value of what a higher degree and education can do for oneself, not only on paper and having a degree, but also the confidence level. So let's get to it. We have a lot to go over this morning, starting off with the very first thing. We're going to break down the agenda so you all know what we're looking at. We're going to begin by discussing workforce trends. What is going on in the United States labor force at this point? From there, really taking it to technology. We know that technology is an in-demand field, but what does that look like? Breaking it down a little bit further, we're going to dive into a degree in education with technology. What does that look like? What are the opportunities in technology degree-wise? Lastly, it's finishing it off with more in detail about who Rasmussen is, what we're about, and what we do for our students. And then at the very end, allowing opportunity for you to ask any questions that you have about Rasmussen, Imagine America, or the technology program. So without further ado, let's get moving. The very first piece is we're going to break down the workforce trends. it's taking a look and seeing what is the value of education. And being that we're in education, we know that having education and continuing to further it really allows to open more doors than those that may not have education. As we look at the figures in front of us, and this is based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics, it's clear as day being able to see by education level what that looks like in regards to weekly earnings and unemployment rate. And with that being said, looking at figure number one, we see very clear that those with less than a high school diploma are earning on average right around 600, right in that ballpark. And as we go up the ladder, we go from a high school diploma to an associate's degree to a bachelor's degree. We see that continue to go up in our earnings, and at the bachelor's degree level, doubling what those with less than a high school diploma are earning. So it's in the numbers, it's in the figures. We know that having education is going to help us prepare for a better and brighter future. Looking at figure two, they really work in correlation. We see the same type of things identified. So starting with those that have less than a high school diploma, we see unemployment rate really range between that 5 to 6%, right in that middle. And again, as we continue to further our education from a high school diploma to an associate's degree, ending with a bachelor's degree, it really allows us to see that those with a bachelor's degree on average are right between that 1 to 2%. So a significant decrease. And that is really where we come in as educators. It's using this platform in education to help communicate with our students really what the future holds for those with a degree, and knowing that college is really the next step to furthering their career opportunities, and that it doesn't stop after high school, that they really have to set themselves up with knowing the importance of furthering their education and the different directions that are available in college, so that they really set themselves up for a better potential down the road and a more successful future. So in working together, we really have an opportunity to make a difference in our communities and in our students' lives. From there, what we'd love to do is really breaking down more in detail, what does that look like? Today, we're going to be focusing on technology and the trends that are in technology. If the pandemic has not proved to us enough that technology is going to be continuing to be part of our everyday life, whether it be in our students' lives and education, in our careers, there is not a field that can be running successfully without some usage of technology in some way, shape, or form. As we take a look again from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, just the demand in technology, we see that in the computer and information technology jobs, an 11% job growth between now and 2029. So the demand is there, especially as we compare to other fields, and the average in all other occupations is closer to about 4%. And the reason that technology continues to grow faster than the average is it's really a demand for workers in cloud computing, in collection and storage of data, and information security. Think about ourselves between our computers and our laptops and our mobile phones that really run our life nowadays. uh, Really what that as well is just knowing that it's not just the demand in technology job growth wise, it's also looking at the median wage and the average salary. So again, based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics, an individual within the field of computer and information technology jobs has an average median salary of about 88,000. That was from May of 2019, in comparison to other occupations, which is closer to about 39,000. So the demand for technology is there, and it allows for higher wages. And again, going back to, as students, we want to prep them to have successful futures, which really takes us to start thinking about the students that we work with. It's thinking about, we know technology is in demand. We know that job growth is there, it's a needed field, and it's going to continue to grow. But now it's helping our students figure out and identifying who is a good fit, who has a niche for technology and can be successful in this kind of field. So for us, it's being able to work together to help identify students that may enjoy the work in technology. And things that we need to look at is really the traits that they have. And it starts with these 7. Number 1 is curiosity. Does the student have a genuine interest in technology? Do they want to learn more about it? That's number 1. You got to have an interest. You have to have a passion. And then from there, it's breaking down some other skills like problem solving. Do they like to figure things out? When there's a challenge in front of them, are they trying to figure out potential solutions and navigating towards how do I figure this out? From there, it's verbal communication skills. It's being able to take a basic concept and figuring it out and taking that to a whole nother level and being able to verbally written communicate that idea. It's the big picture focus. I can't say this enough. It's really being able to, as an individual, take an idea and run with it. But at the end of the day, it's connecting the dots to the bigger picture. What does this really look like in the long term? What am I going to be doing? If this is my short term goal, how do I get it to that long term goal? Another big one is adaptability. In an ever changing world, whether it be pandemic or not, technology is always changing. It's always updating and it's adapting. So it's knowing that one can pivot towards a new goal. They can change, deal with adversity, and continue to move towards the bigger picture. Logical thinking, do they enjoy puzzles? Do they enjoy thinking just in general? And that is certainly a trait that is important in the technology field. And an outcome driven mindset. you know in the technology field, it's being able to start with seeing their hard work translate into a clear outcome, into what does this potentially look like for the future. What I want to put in relation to these traits is thinking about not every single student is going to have these 7 traits right off the bat, but it's being able to clearly demonstrate an interest in technology and the student to have the ability to develop and adapt to these traits and to grow them so that they can be suitable and successful in this kind of field. Now, with knowing that they do have 7 traits that lead them to success, it's also looking at if they're having the 7 traits and they have a passion for technology, what does that look like career-wise? In this field, it has so much opportunity in a degree that can be completed in 2 years or less. The opportunity is pretty outstanding with what they can get started with, starting with careers such as a computer support specialist or software developer, computer systems analyst or web developer. There are so many different types of technology jobs that are accessible through diplomas and certificates and associate's degree, which a high school graduate can really complete fairly quickly. And I know myself, and I think about the high school students I work with, it's thinking about that goal. How do I get into my field as quickly as possible? So whether a student wants to work independently or with a team, and both, they have a lot of opportunity in working in these type of fields and these type of jobs, doing computer security or coding, hardware and software. And there's so many different areas that they can specialize in. It just takes figuring out what part of technology are they truly in love with, which makes the fun part of thinking about if we have students that like the business world, they like technology, maybe their heart's not entirely set on that. It's also thinking about what are other options that they have that they can ease themselves into college and really think about getting those basic business skills. And that's where other options are available as well. So Rasmussen does have a school of business, starts with the business certificate, and it allows our students to get entry level credentials where they can acquire different skills from introduction to business, management, marketing, accounting, and allow them to really prepare themselves to get into that business field. And again, in the business world, it really correlates with technology because you need both as you continue to grow. So just allowing our students more options and versatility on where they can get a head start, depending upon where they want to go into the fields. Now, with that, would love to break down more of the technology education options. We've talked about the traits, we've talked about the careers that are available for students and the demand for furthering their education. Now it's really, what does it look like in the technology field in regards to education wise? And one thing that you're going to find at Rasmussen in a majority of our programs is allowing our programs to be done fully online with no campus requirements. So for our students, it's giving them that flexibility. It's allowing school to fit into their life the way that they need it to be, and really being much more realistic versus dropping everything they have to do to go to college. That's not the reality anymore. So with the degrees that we have in technology, our students are able to get into their major and core courses in technology as soon as they start at a certificate level. So it's knowing that I can complete a technology certificate in as few as 9 to 12 months and really have the credentials to get my foot into the door, which is most important in this field. It's building the education right alongside the experience. So with a certificate in information technology or network support, our students have the foundation. They're not being bored to death with random general education courses, just taking course after course and not knowing where does that lead me. It's knowing that they're taking hardware and software. They're taking Cisco networking courses. They're starting to get into the grit and the foundation of what their program is. From there, it's being able to have the certificate and build onto it. So our programs continue to work together. And once a student has a certificate, they level up into the associate's degree. At that level, building on to what they've already learned to further their education at an associate's degree level in information technology, in network systems, in software application. Again, helping them figure out where their specialization is and what they enjoy, and then most importantly, from there, leveling up once more, climbing that ladder again to the bachelor's degree in computer science, in cybersecurity, in IT management. So it doesn't stop. And during the time that our students are really in our program, they are led by instructors that have worked in the field and have experience with not only teaching online classes, but what the field looks like. It's fresh, up to date curriculum. So our students are learning and taking in information that they need for the field. It's being able to, along the way of their education, the classes that they're taking, we're also preparing for them to take testing and exams for industry certifications. So they're not only graduating with a degree at Rasmussen, they're also having the additional certificates that they're preparing for and allowing them to be marketable and really highlighted as they start getting out there into their fields. And that's something that as admissions, my team really works with our students figuring out which programs the students best fit into and how we can help them achieve their goals. Which leads us to, now we know the degrees that are out there, and we know that at Rasmussen, they're going to have the information that they need to be successful in the technology field. But it's taking it a step further at Rasmussen. It's not just making sure that they can walk the talk and talk the talk in field of technology and for those careers. It's also making sure that our students have the soft skills. So as we look at the fields that are out there in technology, employers are looking for employees that also have the soft skills right alongside the hard skills. And that's something we really focus on in the classes. Our students have these 6 skills through communication. It's that they can write and they can read and communicate both verbally and non-verbally, professionally and confidently. It's having the critical thinking skills, being able to problem solve. It's have logical reasoning. It's being able to be self-aware and reflect on what they're doing. Digital influency. In the field of technology, if you were not digitally fluent, I'd be a little nervous. So as well in all of our fields, it's making sure that our students have that confidence in how to use the digital tools that are out there to best prepare for their field. It's diversity and teamwork. There is not anyone in this day and age that has not heard the word diversity and teamwork, and you need both to be successful. You have to know how to collaborate. You have to know how to empathize with people from different backgrounds and different experiences, but at the end of the day, know how to work together in success. Ethics and professionalism. Our students are taught, and in the classrooms, it's thinking, how do I behave professionally? How do I apply ethical principles in my decision making, and helping them think through that? And then last but not least, it's information literacy. You're not going to always have an answer book or someone to go to. It's figuring out, how do I evaluate the information that I have and effectively use it so that I can problem solve and figure out whatever situation I'm put into. So at Rasmussen, it's knowing and having the confidence that we're not only teaching the hard skills, it's making sure our students are walking away with the soft skills as well. And that no matter what opportunity in the field of technology they're taking on, that they can walk in there powerfully and empower those that are around them as well. Which really leads us to what makes Rasmussen different. You know, we have been around since the 1900s. We're not new to education. And with the 23 campuses that we have, both physical campuses and online nationally, really being able to service our students no matter where they are, no matter what they have going on in their life. Here in Illinois, so I am currently from the Mokena Tinley Park campus. In the Chicagoland area, we also have a Romeoville Joliet campus, an Aurora Naperville campus, and a Rockford campus. Outside of that, we have campuses anywhere from Florida to Kansas, North Dakota, and Minnesota and Wisconsin. So really making sure that we are not just an online school, but our students can see us and hear us in all the different states as well as online. We have different programs. So we have 50 programs in 7 different areas of study. And this is something we take to heart because we want to make sure that our students are getting educations and degrees that align with the workforce, with what's in demand. So our School of Nursing, our School of Business, Technology, which we just chatted about, our School of Design, Health Science, Justice Studies, and Education. Really making sure that we service our students so they're prepared to not only get an education, but to get out there and use their education. From there, our programs in our schools offer different levels of education, from diplomas and certificates that can be done in as few as 9 to 12 months, all the way up to an associate's degree, bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and doctorate degrees. So at Rasmussen University, it's really making sure that we're leading our students where they need to be. We're also regionally accredited by the Higher Learning Commission, something that we take a lot of pride in for the quality of the education our students are receiving here. As we look at Rasmussen and knowing the history of it, it's also knowing what makes us stand out. And it's the support. I can't say it enough. Throughout the 11 years that I've been here, it's being with our students every step of the way, from the moment they reach out and they say, I'm looking into school, I know I need a better future, I don't really know what that looks like, all the way through graduation. So we have our dedicated admissions advisors are here. We're here to help them figure out what's the right program, how do I do college, and being there to help them build that belief in themselves to get there. We also work with our advisors that help our students not only figure out what classes they need to take, but help them get into the classes and throughout their program be able to advise them properly. Our financial aid team, it's figuring out, how do I pay for school? Most of us don't just have that kind of cash sitting around. So it's figuring out those financial aid questions, helping them plan and utilize loans, grants, work study opportunities, and scholarships that they could be eligible for. And once they're in the programs, it's knowing that there's peer mentors and tutors and 24/7 tech support that they can pick up or connect on the computer and get help every step of the way. And as they get to the end of their program, it's tying everything up and getting them the career services support they need for mock interviews, resume assistance, Job Connect, which is a portal we have for employees to post part-time and full-time positions. So it's helping them not only get their degree and start it, it's complete their education. And then from there, getting them prepped for, how do I get out there? Now, with that, and that's where we've teamed up with Imagine America, it's being able to support our students as they get to that finish line and starting school. It's being able to have different avenues of paying for school. So we've teamed up with Imagine America for a $1,000 scholarship that's available to our 2021 high school graduates with a 2.5 GPA or higher that plan to attend college. To apply for that scholarship, it's as easy as visiting the Imagine America website and applying for that scholarship. And we'll be giving away scholarships throughout the state of Illinois and Florida. So we need your support in helping your students not only partner and see the valley of education and the opportunities at Rasmussen to help them get there. But it's also being able to help them navigate to the different scholarships like the Imagine America one to help them get into school. With that being said, I really want to finish it up and allow opportunity for questions. If you need more information about Rasmussen University, though, or questions about our program, you can reach out to me via email at gina.taleb@rasmussen.edu or my direct phone number. Otherwise, if you have questions about Imagine America, you can visit their website, imagineamerica.org. With that being said, thank you for your time. Look forward to getting our students into college for this 2021 school year coming up, and let's work together. Thank you for your time today.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Gina. We are now going to open this up for the Q&A portion of our presentation. I'm also throwing up a poll question. If you would like us to send you any information on any upcoming events for your students, whether it be virtual or in-person events with Rasmussen, please indicate so on the poll so that we know who to reach out to with more information. Now, Gina, it does look like we had a couple of questions come in. This person wants to know approximately how long does it take for an individual to get a bachelor's degree? I know we talked about the certification and the associates. Is it more like a 4-year traditional bachelor degree, or can it be done sooner?
So typically a bachelor's can be done within the 3.5 to 4-year time frame, but they build into each other. So a student could start with the certificate within the little as 9 to 12 months, finish that up, go to the associates about another 9 to 12 months, and then they'd be left with just the 18 to 24 months to complete their bachelor's. So they can do it in uniform back to back, or if they need to take time off in between, just knowing that at the end of the day, it does equate to about 3.5 to 4 years.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Now, this person wants to know, is there a minimum GPA or SAT score requirement to attend Rasmussen University?
At this time, we have our own internal assessment into the institution. So as long as a student has a high school diploma, they would actually take the internal assessment. They are not required to have an SAT or ACT score or minimum GPA, but they do have to have graduated high school.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. And this person wants to know more about the question is about whether or not they heard correctly that Rasmussen would help students study for additional certifications in the IT industry towards the tail end of their program. Is that, was that correct?
That is absolutely correct. So we have different industry certifications that are incorporated into the program, and we're prepping students for them. So think about like the Cisco, the A+ software, things along those lines, and networking. Depending upon which specialization in technology they choose, there are aligning industry certifications a student would be prepping for. And we actually reimburse students for the first exams that they're taking for those industry certifications. So
that's great.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I think that's very important too, because the student would have just gotten done, sort of being in that mindset of being a student and studying for exams and studying for tests, which makes it the perfect opportunity to acquire some of those certifications that are going to be all important in, whether or not they're employable after they graduate, which is great. I think it's great that you guys.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Well, that concludes our questions. Before closing, I just want to thank our participants for taking time out of their busy schedules to join us today. We have recorded this session. We'll be sending you the recording of this presentation likely tomorrow morning. And we will also be conducting a quick survey, to follow-up survey when you leave this meeting. If you wouldn't mind answering the questions on the survey, I think there's only 4 questions. It just sort of really helps us better understand if there's anything we missed or anything that you would wish we had talked about, etc. I'd also like to thank Gina for sharing with us today's presentation and encourage each and every one of you to contact her directly with any future questions. On behalf of the Imagine America Foundation, Gina and myself, I want to thank you all. Have a great day and goodbye.
Thank you.